Hello my sweet friends and welcome to Kinda Shabby. My name is Becky and I am so glad you stopped by. Today we're going to be using fabric and felt as well as stamps and stuffing to create some adorable last-minute Easter crafts. Well, there is lots of fun in store today, so let's get these projects started. So I have some templates prepared here already. So today we're going to be doing some eggs, some carrots, and also a cute little bunny pillow. And we're going to start with our bunny pillow. Now I found this bunny silhouette on Google Images and then I just enlarged it using my vinyl cutter, and my bunny is 15 inches high and 11 inches wide. And I'm going to be using some canvas cloth that I get from Hobby Lobby. I am going to be ironing this though. I don't like to cut my patterns out on wrinkled material. You could also use drop cloth. Drop cloth is actually perfect for this little project. And with my bunny pinned onto my freshly ironed fabric, I'm just gonna cut out my pieces. And now I'm going to take my cut pieces here and go to the sewing machine and stitch a 1/4 inch seam allowance, leaving it open between the two pins here to put the stuffing in there. And although I will be using my sewing machine, this is a perfect project for you to use your hot glue gun and glue those pieces together instead of stitching. And we're going to be leaving our raw edges just like this. I'm not going to be turning this. And now I'm just going to take a few minutes and stuff my bunny. And there's our bunny. That's absolutely adorable. And then afterwards I took a needle and thread and just hand stitched that opening closed. Just so cute. And now we're going to need some accessories. So I have snipped and ripped a strip of cotton muslin, and it's just the natural cotton muslin that I pick up at Hobby Lobby. And my strip here is 2.5 inches wide and it is 36 inches long. And I've also placed down some paper because now I'm going to take my Iron Orchid Designs Kindest Regards stamp and my archival ink in rose, and I'm going to stamp this strip with this gorgeous script stamp. And you can see, isn't that just gorgeous? So I'm going to do the same thing and stamp the entire length of my strip here. Now with my beautiful ribbon fully stamped, I'm going to take it back to my machine and I am going to stitch a basting stitch at the bottom so that way I can gather this, and once that is all gathered, we're going to make a pretty little flower to go on our pretty little bunny. Now I've done that running stitch at the bottom here on my sewing machine, but you absolutely could take a needle and thread and do your running stitch to be able to gather this. And I have tied off one end, and I'm going to grab the top thread on the other end, and I'm just going to gently pull and walk these all the way down to gather this up till I get a nice little ruffle, and that's what we've got so far. And now I've got all the gathers evenly spaced from end to end, and I tied a knot and clipped all of my threads. And now before we start gluing everything to our circle, I'm going to just kind of roll that back, just tack it down with just a little bit of glue here. And then we're going to take our disc and we're actually going to start on the back, and we're going to glue this down onto the back of our circle. And I've put the glue about a 1/4 inch in. So that's what we have on the back. Then where these edges are going to meet, you're going to bring that ruffle and we're going to start gluing that onto the inside of our circle. So then we can just run a little bit of glue and tuck that into the glue. And then we're just going to follow that all the way around until we come to the end of our ruffle. So then after we get everything down, look at that cute little flower. Isn't that pretty? So I'm just going to kind of squish that in a little bit. Glue that down. Just kind of hold it in place until the glue sets. And then roll the edges back a little bit here, so more of my script is showing. You could also make like a little yarn pom-pom to put on the tail. That would be super cute too. I think that's adorable. Well, let's go ahead and move on to our next project. For our next project, we are making our shabby carrots. And my template is 7 inches wide and 10 inches long if you want to make yours the same size as I am making mine. And I went ahead and cut out my pieces here, again using the natural cotton muslin. And then I've taken my favorite fabrics, and you guys are probably so sick of seeing these in every video, but I have a lot of this fabric, and so I always use what I have. And I have snipped and ripped 8 pieces of the fabric that are a 1/2 inch wide and 16 inches long, because these are going to be our little carrot tops. So once again, I've laid some paper out, and I'm going to use my rose-colored ink and my same stamp, and I'm going to ink this up, and I'm going to be stamping each of my carrots because I think that's going to be really cute. And again, that is going to be adorable, and I'm just going to go ahead and stamp the other 2 as well. And with all of my pieces stamped, I'm going to fold them and stitch a 1/4 inch down the side here. But again, these could absolutely be hot glued and they would be just as cute. And with my seam stitched there, before I turn this, I am going to kind of cut off some of this excess at the bottom. So then when we turn it, this is going to lie flat. So then I'm just going to take my time and turn all of my carrots right side out. And this little thing actually comes in your bag of your polyfill, and it makes things easier to just really get those points pushed out. And now I'm just going to take a few minutes and stuff them all with my polyfill. And again, this little tool comes in handy to make sure everything gets stuffed all the way to the very end of your little carrots. So I've stuffed my little carrots about 1 inch from the top. And now I'm taking some heavy-duty thread and a needle, and I'm going to run a running stitch around that top, and then we'll be able to pull this tightly when we put our little carrot tops in there. And I've left the needle attached. I haven't cut anything off there just yet. And we're going to fold those in half. I'm going to put just a little bit of hot glue in the stuffing there. And I'm going to push that in and just kind of press and hold until that sets up. And now I can take this string and just really pull that in tightly. And then we can wrap that around a couple of times, make a little knot, tie it off, and clip our threads. And then I cut a strip of cheesecloth, and I pulled off some of this cute little lavender that I picked this up from Walmart. I'm going to tie this around the top. And tuck it up underneath the little bow. And how cute is that? And I'm just going to follow that same process and do these other 2 the exact same way. And there are our cute little shabby chic carrots. My goodness, look how adorable. These are so super cute. Well, let's go ahead and move on to our next project. And for our final project, we're making some felt Easter eggs. And if you want to make yours the size that mine is, at the widest point, it's 4.5 wide and 5.5 inches high. And I have cut 2 of these fun little Easter colors here. So I'm going to be taking these to the sewing machine, and I'm going to stitch a 1/4 inch seam all around, leaving the bottom open for the stuffing. But again, this is an excellent project for you to be able to use your glue gun. And now that we have our 1/4 inch seam allowance stitched there, we're going to stuff them just like we've done all of our other projects so far. So after stuffing, I did machine stitch those closed, and I'm going to be finishing off the edges of mine with a blanket stitch, but this is totally optional. You definitely don't need to do that. To get the blanket stitch started, I take my embroidery floss, make sure I've got a couple of knots tied at the end, and then I actually come between the two pieces here so I can hide the knots. I'm just going to come up at the bottom along the stitch line here. And then I come back up underneath just to make a stitch to secure my thread into place. And then I come over about a 1/4 inch away on the stitch line and pull my thread through. And then when I've almost got it pulled through, I leave a loop there. And I pull my needle through that, and then just kind of tug on that to snug up that stitch. Come over another 1/4 inch and go down on that stitch line. Pull it through. You've got your loop there. You're going to bring your needle and thread through that loop, and then you're going to pull and just kind of snug that up. And as you continue going around, a 1/4 inch stitch on the seam, pulling the thread through, catching that loop with your needle and thread, and kind of pulling to snug that up. That's how you get that cute little blanket stitch. And so I'm going to finish doing the blanket stitch on this one, and then we're going to come back and get some cute little embellishments added to our eggs. And to add some embellishments to our cute little eggs here, I'm going to be using some ric-rac, and I also have various sizes and colors of paper flowers here, and I think that that's just going to be really, really cute. That's adorable. Little dots of glue to the back of the little ric-rac here. And I'm going to do the same thing and glue this one up here. And I'm also going to glue the ric-rac on our pink and aqua eggs as well. So I've pulled out all the little flowers and such that I want to use on my eggs. And now all I'm going to do is glue them all into place. And I love all these little paper flowers. I buy them at Hobby Lobby when they're on sale. But you could also take any of these scraps of the felt that we've used, and you can make your own little felt flowers to go on there as well. So I'm just going to sit here and finish gluing all of our little cute flowers down onto our eggs here. And so I've got all those little florals glued on there, and I just think they are absolutely adorable. Well, now all I need to do is give you a closer look at how cute all of this week's projects turned out.
Although I love how each and every one of these projects turned out, these little eggs are my favorite. Look how cute and fun and happy they are. I just love them. Thank you so much for joining me today. It has been my pleasure to craft with you. Please subscribe for more kinda shabby but always chic crafty inspirations. And until next time, my sweet friends, be blessed.